5 seconds.
I ain't never been a skinny girl. I got curves you can see.
Welcome, everyone to Fuller Woman Radio. This is our first live podcast.
All right.
And we have some amazing people in studio with me.
That's right.
I have to my right the beautiful,
LaChina Jones Kareem.
yes, and the talented actor of stage and screen,
Andre Belue.
Andre Blue. And we're going to have a good time today. If you're just joining us for the first time, I am Cassie. I'm the founder of the International Fuller Woman Network.
All right.
Yay!
Yay!
This is our 10th year of service to the community. And Fuller Woman Radio is a weekly podcast that highlights the amazing people around the world that are on their journey to self-love and who are finding their place in the body positive movement. This is our
Right.
little slogan. From lifestyle, body politics, fashion, and everything in between, we will connect you to resources that will help you live free of society's limits and perceptions of you and of who you are, and so you can live fully as you truly are to be. So, with that being said, even though we are managing everything in our lives, being of size is just one aspect of who we are. And we have someone on the show today that really brought together the point of being present no matter how you present to the world, just throwing away all the limits and perceptions of what plus size people should be doing. And to my left here, Andre Blue, the star of
Yeah.
Comedy Central's. I always want to say the Detroiters, but it's Detroiters.
Detroiters. Yes. Yes.
And he started with us as a model. It's what 2014.
14, 15?
Yeah,
I think
right.
it's 14.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
14. And it's funny because when he mentioned that he was going to be on Comedy Central, and I'm auditioning. I was like, oh, yeah,
You can
okay.
impress us.
I was like, oh, that's great. You want to go ahead and twirl now? And just let me see what you got, sir. But, I mean, and then we see him on television is doing an amazing job in representing for us so very well. So I want to thank you for that.
Well, thank you.
And the way you show up in the world is amazing. So I appreciate you for that.
Well, thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about how you started in just acting and how you wanted to just pursue that. What kind of led you to that?
All right. Well, I've been involved in acting my whole life. Like being young in elementary school, I played Frederick Douglass, Martin Luther King, almost every black civil rights activist there was. I played.
Oh, Lord. That's what we're known for.
And then the older I got in high school, I played roles in like plays like The Wiz, and I started doing singing, fine arts. I played the trumpet. I sung classical music. So I was just involved in all of the fine arts from grade
Powerhouse.
school all the way up. Yeah. So then, being acting after I graduated high school, acting was just always something that was a passion of mine. So I love watching movies, watching Eddie Murphy, just so many actors, and I used to mock what they said and how they acted. So from that point, I got involved in church, and I was in several plays with church, several skits, and start doing just plays and just getting that live reaction from an audience. A live audience was just awesome. And then this opportunity came. I started doing extra work with different companies, and I was an extra for the pilot for Detroiters, just wrapping tape around. That was just going to be my extra role. And the producers liked me, and they called me back to be a regular for the show. So
Wow.
it was just a blessing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I actually was fortunate to go to a table read.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, I was like starstruck. And I was sitting there. It was me, Coco from stage and screen comedian, world-renowned phenom. So I'm already sitting next to her, all nervous. And so I want to take like all kinds of pictures and selfies, but nobody else is doing it. So I'm just sitting there like, I don't think I should be out extra right now and embarrass him because he'll never let me come back. But it was amazing, and all the cast was really amazing and really welcoming to me.
Yes.
It was funny because little side note to that day, I had lost my key to my car
Oh,
that
I
day.
remember that.
But I couldn't find my key. And so I had to have my husband come and pick me up. But it looked like I was just lurking around the set. I'm like, really, I'm just trying to go, people. I'm really not trying to
We
stay.
met up that same night, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
And I was wondering why she was adamant about me just staying there. And I'm like, why am I staying? What? Everything's done. What are we doing now? And she's like, oh, well, yeah, unless McKee and Corey has to catch the cab. I'm like,
It was a mess. I'm like, I'm looking like I'm trying to be a groupie with everybody. I just like, I am not. I really am not. So I just sat in the car and just like, I'm not going to be involved with anybody.
embarrassed.
I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. But it was really a great time. And I love how you guys interacted. Like you've been knowing each other forever.
Yeah, that's one of the things. A lot of people say, well, Comedy Central, it's a big show, but it's a family. Our cast is a family. Shantae, Jillian, Anton, Tim, and Sam. It's on set. We are a family. It's just a small knit group. Everyone. I mean, we're laughing. It's almost not like a job. It's like just going to have a great time.
Well, it shows.
Yeah.
You guys really, really are out there just having a good time. And I was wondering how the set is. The set's the same way.
Oh, the set is the same way. It's
same
just
way?
laughing, joking, making sure you got your lines, of course.
Right,
but
right.
it's just awesome, just an awesome experience. You get to know people. My first day on set, I found out Shantae lost her mom, and she was just
Oh my God.
was positive, and you would never know.
You would never know.
And she was just working, just being a professional. And then afterwards, I found out, I'm like, how did you do this?
How was that possible?
But that's how you learn your professional from the people
Yeah.
you work with,
Right.
and you try to mimic like the professionalism. And I learned so much being on set of this show.
Well, I know that LaChina Jones-Kareem,
Oh, my goodness. Oh,
she's
my
a
God.
playwright,
I am.
actress,
Thank you.
all those things.
Yes, she has a nice voice.
She does.
Thank you very much.
So keep saying it to her because she will leave me and like go on to do other things. Let's just keep her humble right now. She'll do all right. She
Humble
cool.
yourself.
She cool.
I do.
I know that from your experiences, because you've been everywhere and traveled the world and performing. What has been some of the challenges as a woman of size in the areas that you navigate in? Like, how do you, even though that they're there to see you and perform, but I know you and I, when we worked together back in Canada, there was some issues. It was a plus size event, but we still felt like we were kind of discriminated against. Not really discriminated, but shunned or whatever. I don't know how to describe it.
It was more, I think it was more of the culture discrimination.
Yeah.
Than it was size discrimination. Even though the size discrimination, it seems like anywhere I go is size discrimination, because it could be, for instance, the people who hire you, they know you're plus size,
Right.
but their other talent may not know that a plus size group is coming in, and that's where the discrimination comes in, because then you have to fight even more. You have to outperform. You know what I mean? Literally walking off the stage, falling out because you outperform just to prove that you belong in that arena.
Right.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's why I do appreciate you, Andre. You always showed up and showed out. Even when you came to audition, Andre was there on time to all of the rehearsals. He was not there for any game. I don't even think you missed a rehearsal.
No.
It wasn't many to miss.
But he didn't.
And
Even though that was his first time I think it was the first show that you.
Yes.
But you took it very seriously.
Yeah.
Even though you're going to be this big mega star, you just was like, I'm taking this position seriously, and we appreciated that.
And I think with everything, and this is what I tell my clients and my consumers all the time, and they say, I'm so ignorant in insurance. I said, well, what do you do? And they say, well, I'm a financial advisor. I said, I'm ignorant in that too. If we don't know it, you don't know it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I love that you take that attitude, because it's the attitude I take. Just because I model and people know me from modeling or dancing, you know what I mean? Even from acting, I'm not an artist. I don't draw. You know what I mean? I can draw a couple of lines if you need me to, a straight line if you give me a ruler, but that's not my forte. So I don't know about. So if I go in somewhere and I want to be an artist and I want to join their group or that community, I have to humble myself.
Right.
It doesn't matter who knows me in any other arena, and that's how you came in, and I appreciated that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like anything that you commit to, you should give your all. And professionalism, I'm all about professionalism. Being on time, just being there when they ask you to be there, making call times, making sure that if they ask you to do some social media plug, make sure you're doing that. You know,
Right.
that's all part of the business.
Right.
So you have to understand if you want to be part of it, that's what you need to do.
Absolutely.
And then it doesn't matter how small your role is, and you just proved that you were just wrapping tape.
Wrapping tape on
And
a
they
mic.
asked you to come back. It's
Yes.
like Judith Jameson. All she had to do was do a 6 o'clock. And
Right.
she got her own.
But you know, it's just I believe fully in divine intervention. That was meant for you was meant for you. You were put
Yep.
in a place
Yep.
where they recognize you, and you just have a magnetic personality anyway. So coming across you have to say, okay, what is it? Sometimes people say, what is it that you have that I can use? Others say, look at you and say, you know, what is it that I can glean from to elevate what I'm doing?
Right.
You know, and so we're always the people who are looking at us for that opportunity. We always find the best in the opportunity, even though that it hasn't been the best
Maybe
attention for us.
Yeah.
But you try to make the best of that situation. So as a man of size, what do they call it? Brawn modeling.
Oh, okay.
Brawn model.
Big and tall.
Big and tall, brawn. Like, brawn is the new word.
Brawn's a new word.
Yeah.
Oh,
As a brawn actor in Hollywood, have you experienced some of the stereotypical roles, like they will push towards you, or things that, because typically, you know, you see men in the role of comedy. They're either the butt of the joke or they make fun of themselves, or it's always some kind of comedic role,
Exactly.
never the love interest. If it's a love interest, it's always a default love interest.
Uh-huh.
Exactly.
Never the one that is the lead role. Even This Is Us, there was a guy on there that was of size, but the actor wore a fat suit.
Oh, wow.
So he wasn't really a man of size, and there's so many of men of size out there. So have you experienced that where you've gotten roles that you didn't feel was right for you?
Yeah, I actually experienced that. I auditioned for a role. I was told that I'm not big enough at one point. I was told that I'm too big. And the role, it was the one role that I auditioned for, it was a love interest role. And they just didn't see a brawn or plus size guy being in that role. So I've been told that, even in commercial suits, it was like commercials that I taped. Well, we're going to get you from the middle of the chest on up for the view, because they don't want a bigger guy. He wasn't the picture they wanted for that role. So I have experienced it. Even for a local play, I've been auditioned, and they say, "Well, no, we want a guy that can be able to take off his shirt and be muscular for this role." So, and I was like, "Okay, I understand, but I'm going to keep knocking at that door.
That's right.
I'm
Bust
going to
down
get a
them
role
all.
like that."
That's
soon.
right.
Bust
That's
them all
right.
down.
Yeah. I'm going to knock the doors down. We're going to keep going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, what I think is important too, because, you know, we encourage people to show up where they're not expected, to just bust down the door and make their presence felt. And I know that he did it there, but what I love about this show too is that even though you film in Hollywood, or where do you film?
We film right here in Detroit.
You film in
Yeah, everything's
Come
right
on
here.
now.
So everything is at home. That's what I was saying. It still has a Detroit feel, so they feel like you're kind of far away from, you know, what you know and love. And that's what I love about this show. This show is amazing. So Tim Robinson, Sam Richardson, I just think is ridiculous. I think he is so funny. Anything that he does,
Yeah.
even though I love him on Veep,
Yeah.
and the movie he was with, the movie about the office party.
Yes.
That my husband has quotables of this movie like all the time. How was it working with such established actors too? And
Well, Tim and Sam, they actually help push you to be better. So being around them, seeing their professionalism, the way that they get the script and create it and make it their own. Just really help motivate you. And I actually sat on set and just watched and absorbed everything. I'm an absorber. I want to learn. I love the art. So just to see how they take their script, how they turn it and make it their own, how they go away and study for a second on their role just to make sure they have it right. And then listen to their criticism of me, like constructive criticism. They're like, oh, I think you should do it this way. You should do it that way. So I just take it all in because these guys, they know what they're doing. Like you said, Sam is on Beat, Tim is on Saturday Night Live. So they're everywhere. So just being around these great actors and producers just helps motivate you, help you grow. And I'm just blessed for being around those guys. And I feel I'm so much better now being around them.
And it's funny because they're both kind of character actors.
Yes.
And they kind of take whatever role they have and they just transform it and make it their own. But what I like about it is that nothing has really limited them. Like, even though I know Sam as like the guy who, like on Veep, the role he plays there, like he's like really, nerdy, and he's like he's really smart, but he puts stuff in your face, and you're like, oh my goodness, did he just say that? and then with Tim, he's really sarcastic, and he's, on the show, the roles he played, especially on Saturday Night Live, that was kind of like his character. But what I like on Detroit is that they depart from both of those.
Yeah.
Those things that we're known for them for, and doing that. So talk about your role as Tommy Pencils.
Tommy Pencils is the loving, quirky office guy for their ad agency that Tim and Sam runs. He's their go-to for any cameras, anything that need to get coffee. Tommy Pencils is that relief from when they're frustrated, they take it out on Tommy. When things need to be done, they call Tommy. So Tommy is just, his character has definitely grown from the show, from the first season, just wrapping tape, to this season, from last season being in like 3 episodes to this season being in over 7.
Okay.
So his character is growing, and Tommy is just unpredictable. You never know what he's going to say. You don't know what he's going to be shocked by.
Right.
So it's just
it kind of is him already, isn't it? It's kind of Andre already, right?
he don't dress as good as me, so
That's true.
I have to work on that.
Okay, that is showing up for true.
Maybe that'll edge its way into the show a little later on.
That is showing up the truth, because you definitely break it down in these streets. I tell you, your Instagram is just on they don't say fleek anymore. What do they say?
I don't know. What do they say? I just call everything hot. It's hot to me.
It's just hot.
Fire?
Right.
But let me tell you what sparked my fashion interest is being part of the International Fuller Women Program in 2014. I always dress nice, but that really helped spark, like, I want to be a fashion icon. I want to dress. I feel good. I'm motivated. I was around so many beautiful people, and it just motivated me to, like, okay, I'm taking my fashion up a level.
Yeah. Oh, good. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, I think
Inspiration.
I think that you came in. We had a whole night dedicated to the men.
Yes.
And that event was amazing. But what I liked about it is that the men were so excited about showing what they had.
Yeah.
And because I added the second segment where people just show their own personal style.
Yeah.
And when I tell you people just showed out, we couldn't get them off the stage. Oh, this is just an amazing event. I was a little tearful. I'm always tearful though. But
It was. And that event, the guys that we are still friends to this day. So it was definitely brotherhood. It was like, it was the first program for you guys, for guys, and it was definitely a special moment for all of us because we still talk through social media. And like Lamont and Jarvis and those guys, we communicate all the time now. Still.
And Jarvis actually was an extra on the Detroiters.
Yes, he was on the Detroiters as well.
Yeah. So it's a good thing Lamont is out here doing his thing.
Yeah, he's acting, he's working hard. So it was just a good brotherhood.
That's a good thing. That's how Chaya and I came together, because we always wanted to knock down the runway.
Yeah.
And I thought that was my calling.
And you all do it.
Oh my
Well,
God.
she does it. I don't know about mom.
Both of you are.
She does. She definitely does it. But one thing that we had a great initiative last night. Sister Circle was our first Sister Circle.
Yeah.
And sister circles are just like a fireside chat type thing where we go to women and we just talk about, our issues with our body, with ourselves. Even if we don't have any issues, it's a place where we can just come together and just glean from one another and just relax all of our inhibitions and fears and just talk about real life things. And I introduce parts of the network and parts of the Plus community that people may not be aware of. So we respect people's spaces and that type of thing. And so I did the first pilot program at the YWCA interim house. And that was for survivors of domestic violence who are now living there in transition. And what I loved about that setting is that people there hadn't really expressed their stories before, and they were able to share it with so freely in that space, which I really loved about doing that. But in all of what they were saying, what they said that grounded them was their faith. Wow. And I know that you are definitely a man who is faithful and knows a spiritual being and believes in a higher calling.
Definitely.
How much does that influence what you do and how you move out here?
Well, every step I take, I actually pray on. Like, even going on the set as an extra for that pilot, I prayed, like, God, if it's your will, let it be done.
Right.
Yeah.
And I always, for every move I make, I always want to listen to God. Like, I had an opportunity not too long ago to go to another state. And it's like, okay, do I want to leave and go here and just put all my faith in this basket here? Or do I want to stay home, work, and still take the opportunities that come? So I'm too old at this point to just leave and not have any steady income. So I asked God. And I prayed on it. I'm like, God, speak to me. Let me know which way should I go. Because if you tell me to go, I'm going.
Right.
And his word to me was stay here. This is not an opportunity to stay. And I'm so glad because I found out that those opportunities didn't pan through. So I would have left everything and would have been left with nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's so important to listen to God, follow what he gives you, because he tells you. It's maybe silent, maybe loud, but you get signal signs.
Yeah.
Right.
He let you know
Yeah.
where you should go, and
Right.
just follow him.
Absolutely. And I just feel like being grounded in whatever spiritual being that you know guides you, I think is really important to know there's a greater purpose. And I firmly believe in the word. And I believe
Why'd you have to?
in the word. But I also really believe that there is links to my ancestral past.
Okay.
And I believe that there are my ancestors ushering me into different parts of my life. And I feel, my parents around me sometimes. And my mother had these premonitions and stuff. And I know it's in me, and I never tapped into that. And I think I may be afraid to, but I know that
I think you should.
that there is some validity to that. I know I have friends. Drea's is another one that I met who said, I need to get you to my Baba, which is her spiritual leader. And so I was like, well, okay, I'll get there.
Okay.
When I'm ready. I'm all nervous about it, but I feel that there's a higher calling, higher being that kind of guides you through your purpose. So, I think it's important to be grounded, whatever you look to for that.
Yes.
Well, no, you are a woman of the church.
Definitely a woman in church.
She praise dances.
I do praise dance, but I think most of my spirituality came from my grandmother, and praying and getting to know God for myself.
Yeah.
And not listening to what everybody else says. And if you know Him for yourself,
Yes.
you don't have to listen to what anyone else says. He
Right.
has his own. He has his own talk with you.
Yes.
And I do believe in that. I have never been in a situation where I felt I couldn't get out of it.
Right.
Where I stressed myself out because I knew God had my back. So,
Exactly.
that's who I
Yeah.
pray
Right.
to is God. I don't, whoever does what else. But as a brawn man, I know as a plus size woman that, when people are inspirations to someone else and they're interviewed and they're questioned, they say, well, would you tell those who are like you or started where you are? And then you hear the same the same cliche.
Right.
Well, I tell you, never stop giving up on your, but
Right.
what would you say that is not the cliche and that is real that people can say, oh, yeah, I've experienced that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What would
Right.
you say?
I'll say work. A lot of people just think that things supposed to happen to them. I have people say to me all the time, well, I could do what you do. Well, I was out there doing the work. I went and applied for agencies. I did extra work. Some people think they're too good for extra work. Oh,
yeah.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
I just want to go straight to stardom. Well, good luck on that. But I would say do your groundwork. Take acting classes. Like I still, when I get an opportunity, I'm taking an acting class. If I get an opportunity, I'm watching Denzel Washington
Right.
or another main artist, actor, watch on TV, and then I'll pause the TV and just mimic his line. So it's constant working. Never think that you are there.
Right.
Yeah, you always want to improve your craft, and you just want to get information and get notes from everyone. Like I listen to country music. I listen to classical
Right.
music. I love music, so I take all that in.
Right.
Even acting, I go from dramas to comedy, just horror, and I hate horror movies. I watch it because it's a technique to their
Yes.
acting in a different kind of show.
Right.
Yeah, as far as that goes, I like that you don't want to be stuck in one type of genre.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I found so many times when I see, for instance, if I see Will Ferrell in a very serious movie, I'm not going to take him serious because I know him as a comedian. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's hard. For you
It's
to-
very
yeah,
hard.
yeah.
That's like if Kevin Hart does something where he's not telling a joke, I'm like, yeah, this one isn't for you, buddy.
You know, one of the actors that did that, and it was hard for me to take him at first, Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he's such a comedian, but now he's doing more serious
Yeah,
roles, like
yeah,
this new
yeah.
Robin Hood that he's doing. And his last movie that he played, I'm taking him seriously as a dramatic actor now.
But it took time.
It
For,
did
it does
take
take time
time,
for you
yeah.
to do that. So it's good to me as a dancer and an actress and things like that that I'm not stuck in a role. When I used to do more acting, everybody always wanted me to play the plus size mama or the auntie, or you can be the teacher. Or, no, that's not. I'm here to be the sexy vixen that wears the short dresses. That's who I'm here to be. Now, do you
Right.
want it or not?
Right.
Usually they wanted it.
Yeah, my last acting role in a play, I actually, it was not a comedic role at all. It was an actual dramatic piece. I was a husband, and my wife left me, and I was crying. I sung so hard. It was hurtful, painful,
my
but I loved it because it
sure.
wasn't a comic
Right.
role. You know, it was a dramatic role, and I can't wait to do more of it. Screenwriter, write me a play, write me a play.
Don't
Put this
worry.
out here now.
My play will be at the International
Yes, it will.
Fuller Woman Network.
Listen,
All right. Yeah.
listen. Our 10th year anniversary.
It's about to be so lit.
It's gonna be so stupid.
All right. 10
It's
years.
just 10 years of doing this, and I'm just so excited about what we have coming up and what we've done so far, and just really just living fully our purpose. I
Yes.
think
Doesn't
that
Living
it
on
seem
purpose.
like
It
10
doesn't that-
years, though?
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like 10 years to you.
It
It seems like
doesn't.
it does not.
it doesn't.
I've known you, more like 11, 12
12,
years?
yeah, I think it's been 12.
12 years, and it does not seem like 10 years ago.
At all.
We started this
Yes.
thing.
So we're going to take a small break,
All right.
and we'll be right back with Fuller Woman Radio.
All
All
right.
right, see you in a few. All right. Hey, Jose.
Oh, really? All right. Yeah.
Can they still see us during this time? Yeah. They can? Okay.
Jose said, hey, yes.
I ain't never been a skinny girl.
You hear
I
me
got
testing?
curves you could see clear across
Huh?
the world.
Jose
But I'm a
said,
real strong
yes.
person with a big old dream. You should never judge a book
Welcome back to Fuller Woman Radio. And we're here with the beautiful and lovely LaChina Jones Kareem
Yes.
and actor, comedian, star extraordinaire, Andre Blue
Yes.
from the Comedy Central Detroiters.
All right.
Stage and screen all over the galaxy.
All doing everything.
Doing everything like he should.
Busting the doors down.
Yes. So we were talking about right before the break about how we did our social circles and it's important for us to give back and everything. So maybe we could put it maybe the call number right here. Maybe they can see it.
Can I see it
see.
right there?
Oh, right here. Yeah, right here. Can I see it from there? Okay. So that's the call-in number, everybody.
You want to talk to us?
This is our first one, so we're gonna work out the kinks. This is our call-in number.
There we go.
Okay.
Leave it alone.
248-838-3661.
Yes. Oh, I like that. You can do a commercial
I
for
know,
it.
I was about to say, you about to do a commercial?
So we talk about philanthropy and how it's important to give back to the community. A lot of people they think because you have a platform that it's important to also have a voice when it comes to social justice. How important is it as an actor who definitely has a platform and has visibility? How important is it for you to make statements in social media or give your position on what current topics are around that?
Well, I really think using your platform is definitely good for, I guess, those social avenues where you can share your view and your point on certain matters. Personally, I don't go too deep into it on my platform just because of where I'm trying to get to and where I'm going. I just feel like I can definitely speak to the issues that I have and speak to my truth. However, I don't go as far as sharing it and maybe, I don't know what to say, basically offending anyone by it. I do it on my personal social medias, but anything that I use as a social media for my role or my character, I try to stay away from it, just for sakes of not being shone upon in the industry.
Yeah, it's a hard balance.
It is. It's
I know
a
it's
balance.
a hard balance.
You do have to balance it.
Right.
But I don't stray away from it. Like if someone come and ask me personally how I feel, I'm definitely going to tell them.
Okay.
But on certain avenues, especially on a character or something representing a show or a network, I stay away from it.
Okay.
Okay.
That's good. I think it's important to only speak when you feel passionate about it. I know that a lot of people, get those Twitter figures going and they start saying a bunch of stuff and then come back and like, oh, I'm sorry.
Right.
I didn't mean that to all people I've offended. I do apologize.
I think that some people don't take tact when they speak,
Right.
and they could be passionate about it, and you can still be passionate about something and be tactful
Exactly.
as well with it. I'm very passionate about what I say.
Right.
You will never see me say, I apologize, because I've thought about, this is what I'm
Before you
going to
say
say.
it.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And I
Right.
feel that the people who follow me or the people that call themselves loving me, I've always been the same China. I have not changed,
Yeah.
period. So
you
if
kind of haven't.
I haven't changed. So if you knew me then and you know me now, you know that if I'm passionate about something, it's going to be said.
Right.
If you don't like it, don't read it. How about that?
Yeah.
I know for me, I feel I have a responsibility. Sometimes it cripples me. Before I put anything out, I'm like, oh my goodness, what are they going to say? I like type all stuff out, and I just erase it, type all out, and erase it. Then when I post it, and I let it go. And then I close up my phone. And sometimes
I'll
I come back.
later on.
I come back and wait for the backlash. But sometimes there is like real like conversation that happens without me. and they go in and sometimes they fight
Yeah.
on there, and then I have to step in like, hey, what y'all doing? And he cut that out. One love. And I step back off. And I come back in. But I think it's important to have that dialogue sometimes. But also, I think that having some things, topics that are triggering for some people, I need to cut off that conversation when it becomes triggering for other people. When I see people are really harmed
Okay.
by that conversation, and I step in and I'm like, okay, we need to stop this. It's over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's
yeah.
move on to something else.
But you have to be prepared that if you do put something out there, that you're going to have dialogue.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people are like, I can put what I want on my page, and
It's
I don't
my
care how nobody
page.
feel. And,
Yeah.
and I do feel that way. But again, like I said, once you put it on there, you have to be ready for either backlash, love, or just people want to know. Some people they just want to start something, and they just want to ask 30,000 questions about
Right.
it. And you have to be strong in your stance. You can't let anybody cower you down for something you put on your page. So
Right.
that's why you have to be adamant in your stance for that.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that it's important to, what is fucking that even say? You have to stand up in your word and say what you mean and stand up in your word. You do have to say what you mean. You do have to believe what you say. But at the same time, I think it's important, like, to learn from what you say, that if it's harmful, to take some lessons from it and then try to correct it. But I think it's important to leave that up there.
Yeah.
Don't delete it.
Yeah.
To show to be transparent in your position in that, because I had an issue where,
Oh yeah.
but it was a while ago, and there's several things that happened, but
There's several issues you have.
last year I posted I think it was a rice cake that I ordered from the store, and I thought for sure it was a rice cake, but when I got it, it was gelled and it had vanilla. It was vanilla bean cake.
Okay.
It was gelled and it had the actual vanilla beans inside of it, wrapped in a banana leaf, and it was authentic to the culture. But I was like, what is this? So I posted it on my page. I said, y'all, I'm looking for banana cake. I don't know what this is. Everybody was like, what's going on? And
I
so
remember that.
my Indonesian friends had to check me, like, okay, although I might find some things offensive about your culture, this is part of our culture. And other people were like, okay, so I'm from Indonesia. That just looks bad, and they just didn't. They didn't do a good job. But there was a lot of discussion about it, and people were from Indonesia was putting their clips from videos and information about what that was, so I could be more informed. So I put another post up, and I tagged all the people that was commenting, negative or not. Say, okay, we've got more information on what I was trying to eat. Here it is, guys, and let's learn from this. And we all had a teachable moment at that point. So
Teachable moments. I love teachable moments. You
I
can be
look
checked
forward.
on your own post.
You can be checked.
You can be checked
Yeah.
on your own. I've gotten
Exactly.
checked and like, okay, let me do the research first. Okay, so what I was trying to say, has that happened to you before?
Yes. Yeah, there's a couple times that I may have said something that I thought was funny, but and just moved on from it. It was a growing moment. I know not to do it again. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mess, but I'm grateful for those lessons. And sometimes I have people that just come for me. I don't see them, I don't hear them.
They just wait
she's
for
like,
you.
"Hey, you know you're wrong, right?" Like, like
Oh
what?
my gosh. It's some areas that you cannot speak of that are very sensitive, that
Yes.
people are very sensitive to. And if you do speak about them, you better be.
Better be ready.
You better be ready. You could talk about, and I'm not saying you can talk about, but some people think it's funnier to talk about maybe someone who has a disability, and everybody will laugh about that, which
Right.
I don't think is funny. But if you say something about LGBTQ, that you are about to, your whole head is about to get chopped off, baby.
Listen, if you don't know the truth about it, then we should just not speak on it.
Right.
And let them speak. It's like I had a situation on my timeline where someone was murdered. She was
yeah, I
a
remember that.
transgender, and people were coming up with all this stuff. And my friend who's transgender from Canada chimed in and spoke her truth. And she was going back and forth with them. But eventually the conversation was harmful to her.
Yeah.
So I deleted it all. I said, I'm sorry. There is love out here. We just got to do better as a collective. And, there was some discussion about how we need to advocate for transgender rights, just like we advocate for Black lives. And we need to be aware that that transgender people are dying every day.
Yeah.
In Detroit and everywhere.
That's right.
With no regard.
And you don't have to agree with it. You
Right.
don't have to be a part of it
Just
to know that it's
acknowledge-
still wrong.
Yes,
It doesn't
exactly.
matter if this is what you do or you don't
Right.
do.
so
Somebody's
acknowledge
dying.
it exists, right.
You know what I mean?
I
Period.
said, and the story was this guy had stabbed this woman 119 times. And
How
so,
many times can you kill somebody? Just-
well,
that you
well,
mean
that's
to-
anger, obviously, aggression. But they were making all these excuses for why he did it. And on top of that, they were talking about just things that were harmful and not really helpful to the conversation. So in that moment, I just deleted the whole thread because I knew it was hurting her more than anything else, and that's what we don't want to do. We don't want to have a space where that
Right.
happens.
Right.
Although it's my own private page, but it's still a place where I think we should all can come together and talk to one another. So, we have some things coming up.
Yeah.
This coming weekend. I am, speaking of that topic, I am teaming up with the beautiful Drea. She's a social justice warrior out there, and she advocates for the LGBTQTIA community. And so we're doing our first event together.
Can you
It's
tell
called-
me what TIA is?
I was just going to ask. I heard.
Well, I know what it is, but I think she might want to tell it. Everybody else
Yeah,
know what
because I
the
didn't
first
know.
part.
Okay.
Well, I kind of forgot the last two. Thanks for putting me on the spot there.
Well, now this is a teachable
forgot
moment.
for all of
We have a
us.
learning moment here.
But this event is for all transgender people and also for sex workers.
Okay.
Now,
Come on now.
sex work is one of those taboo topics that come up, but people don't normally talk about, don't want to talk about, discard that portion of society that are actually doing that work. But they're all out there, and they're suffering. And Drea sometimes have to really protect the women that are on the streets. And I told her not to do that at night because she's going at night. I was like, don't go. Don't go. but she goes out there with her, she goes out there with her wagon with food and sex kits and all of that on her own.
do it. He's here.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
I
So,
can't stop you, but I can protect you.
right. That's what it is. So we're having our first event at the Psychedelic Healing Shack
Okay.
in Detroit on Woolward, and we're going to have free clothes and free food and free sex kits. And just,
There'll
just
be testing
Can I
on
come and
site
get
as
it
well?
free?
no testing on
No
site.
testing,
No
okay.
testing.
Oh.
That's coming on the next event.
All right.
I want a free sex kit.
Well, you come and get
Thank
your sex kit then.
So, what is a
Okay.
sex kit? Kind of explain
Well,
this
it
to me.
kind of contains condoms.
Condoms are good.
Condoms are always good.
They're very good.
Some literature, so like information about where to get tested.
Okay.
Okay.
Dre has put all the packs together. I haven't seen them.
I know they're okay.
Yeah, and they were donated to us.
That's awesome. Though, for
So
real.
yeah, I think it's amazing, and I can't wait to be a part of our first event that we're
Alright.
doing for the community down there. So I can't wait to go. But that's this Sunday, September
Sunday.
16th,
Okay.
a day after my sister's birthday, Cynthia.
All right, Cynthia. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Cynthia! Happy birthday, Cynthia! She's in at
No.
the Great Wall of China right now.
Oh, right.
Yes, because my niece.
Cynthia, can I just like be in one of your suitcases? I'll pay the
Well, my
fare.
niece has an internship over there,
See,
and she actually
Cortez
is
said he wants
in
a
the
free
fashion. Huh?
Cortez said he wants a free certificate.
Well, he gets nothing. But she has an internship over there.
Is that not awesome?
That's
or
awesome.
what?
Yeah,
That's
she's amazing. So that's where she is now. And right now she's waking up because it's 7:47. So she
I just
is
want to applaud all
7:47
those
a.m.
children who are in college. One of my little cousins went to Greece, the other one to Italy
All right.
for their internship. So I just want to say, hey, and when I go back to school, I'm supposed to be going to Dubai. I only can speak Arabic when I'm there.
Okay.
Touch it off.
No, I'll just be Google Translate. Could you please?
I need
Say
your
this.
laziness to stop.
Say what now? Chicken.
Chicken. We have exciting things coming up this weekend, don't we? Let me tell you guys that me and Cassie have been riding. We've been riding like we really own some expensive cars. We've been doing some stuff every weekend. What is wrong with us?
I don't know. We're just
Our activists. Hey, y'all making things happen.
We
That's
are
what's
like,
going on.
we feel like we are in the elite club because now we do 1, 2 things. Everybody's like, "You want to come to this?" Well, here's free tickets. Take them. Are you serious? My job just was like, "Hey, I got a table at this big event, and you're going to be table 8." I said, "Table 8 is like right in the front, isn't it?" Yes. I said, "Okay,
I could be there.
I can do this
I get some
gala
free.
then."
Last weekend, I went to an amazing conference, Curing Racial Justice. And I tell you, it was transformative for me. I had such a great time. I was in the workshop that talked about just throwing away all the bad ideologies and just throwing away everything that has held us down. And we were in a circle, and we were just sharing our experiences. And it was so beautiful. We talked about body politics, which
Right.
is amazing. It was led by 2 amazing Black women, and it was just a really good thing. Then I had
Did
to
you
leave.
cry?
I didn't cry that time, although I
Okay.
felt like it. Then I had to go.
Always cry.
I always cry. Then I had to go to another event where I was tabling for Mothering Justice,
Right.
where it was the Detroit People's Platform. So that's where they talk about, dividing you up into districts and make sure you know who your district leader is. And so try to rally people to vote and do all of that. So it was an amazing day. It was full.
I know.
And so this weekend is going to be equally full.
Equally full. We are going to be rolling out. What do you have coming up, Dre?
Well, this Sunday, September 15th, from noon to 5 p.m., I'll be with Tacky Tees, their pop-up shop.
Oh.
Okay.
Yep, that's going to be at 27821 West 7 Mile Road in
Come on
Livonia,
and give them some
Michigan.
dang on advertisement.
I will be there from noon to 3.
All right.
And it's going to be a great event. They're going to have a lot of T-shirts, and you can go on It's Dre Belue on Instagram to see the flyer.
Okay.
And then November 2nd, I'm going to be one of the celebrity guests for the American Cancer Society soiree, Masquerade Soiree.
Oh, okay.
So that's going to
So
be
we
an
get
excellent
tickets?
thing. Yep, the tickets. I'll have it on the page as well.
He's gonna go
No, I just want you
No.
to get us tickets.
clearly,
Clearly, he ignored that part.
no, clearly he
Sorry, I
heard you.
didn't hear that.
He referred you to the link.
But I'm doing a fundraising, so that's going
Okay.
to be on my pages as well.
Okay.
So really looking forward to that. I think we all, I was in a board meeting this past Tuesday with them, and just really didn't realize how many people are touched by this cancer.
Yeah.
We all know, if we haven't lived it with someone or a close friend or family, we know someone that has suffered with the
Definitely.
cancer disease. I have sisters, friends, and I lost an aunt to cancer that was very close to me. So this cause is just so personal to me now.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to be sharing that information. But it's going to be a great event. It's a big fundraising event every year. And
Where's it going to be?
It's going to be at the Port
Port Detroit.
Port Detroit, right downtown.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Wonderful.
yep, it's a beautiful venue. If you've been there before,
yeah.
it's great. And then at night, it's just to see the lights off the river. It's just awesome
Well,
experience.
definitely keep me updated. My
Oh,
mom
yeah,
is a survivor of breast cancer, and I would love to bring her.
Okay.
And then I get to dress up again.
Yeah, you got to dress up, little
Be
masquerade.
fancy, you know.
Yeah.
So, you got anything else? Well, I have a lot coming up.
All right,
Yeah.
share with us.
Wow, where do I start? Well, my personal endeavor is I'm going to DragCon this year, so I'm excited about that in New
so
York. At the
jealous,
end
I'm so
of
jealous.
September, I'll be at DragCon in New York.
Okay.
Shortly after that, I'll be leaving 2 weeks later to go to St. Croix to dance. My dance team, So Fat, will be
Yes.
dancing in St. Croix.
And they are
Yes.
fabulous. If y'all haven't checked them out, y'all make sure y'all check that group out.
Y'all not ready for this one. This one, if you don't know what, this one is about to be ignorant,
Yes.
okay? My cousin Cortez is on here, keep talking to me and everything, but he's going with me, but that's my
Cortez, we're
photographer.
doing a show. Please.
Yeah,
don't
he's
disturb us.
he's always disturbing. And then when we come back in December, I just want to let everybody know my birthday is December 23rd. I will be 40, and I will be partying the whole
She
month
said,
of
I
December.
want to let everybody know
All
that my
right.
birthday is this.
So you can choose any event to come to celebrate me,
All right.
and I will be appreciative of all of it. All
She
right?
will have safety pins available for your money pinning pleasure.
I will. I will. As a matter of
Money
fact,
trees on
everyone
the
can
tables.
get everyone's going to get a pin when they with my face on it. That's your gift from me.
It's like my mama. My mama would go to Sears and get a full photo shoot at Sears. And then for her birthday, when we go to celebrate her, she have wallet-sized pictures to pass out of herself to everybody.
Do you know how me and your mama got along? Because we think alike.
Yes. Yes. Well, this is our first live podcast, and I don't know. Hey, I don't know where our engineer is, so I don't know how to even answer the phone if you call. So let's not.
Did you hear her?
let's not do that right now. But next week we're gonna
We
get it all
promise.
together. We're gonna make sure. We had heard some ringing, so I believe that some people were calling in. I just don't know how to answer you, so charge it to my equipment and not
Yeah.
my heart or
Yes,
my
yes,
head.
yes.
Because I don't even know how to answer it if you did. It's nothing. It's no touches here that we can.
No touches and no, it's not Bluetooth.
Right.
Bluetooth.
I'm so used to my job. Hello.
So, but we are excited about today. I was a little nervous, I gotta say.
She was so nervous. She contacted me at 7-something this morning.
What?
We're going live today.
And it went
I'm
great.
nervous.
Because it's purpose.
Yes.
Well, yes, it's
Purpose.
purpose. It is.
I told her, I said, I like live because she wasn't sure. I said, well, I like live because I was tired of people putting me on the pedestal and thinking that I'm not a real person. People look at my page all the time and they say, oh, she's a model and I'm going to take her out. And then they get me out and they think I'm like, I want to sell her. I'm like, no, I want you to go ahead and give me some lobster tails. And yeah, I'm going to need a little bit of mashed taters.
Gotta have the mashed potato.
I'm a real person.
See, but for me, that's not really my issue.
No, I know what your issue
My
is.
issue is that I don't like to show how the sausage is made. If I look crazy out here, I don't want anybody to see that. I'd rather be edited
No.
and,
no.
kind of bloopered out
No.
But
stuff.
this is no filter. You
Our
got your people seeing
platform-
you raw.
right.
This is
I
how
know.
it is.
Our platform is about accepting who you are, body positivity,
Exactly.
living in yourself.
Living
and
in
you are going to live in
yourself.
yourself as
In your
long as I'm on your
purpose.
side.
Hey,
Go
there
ahead
you
and cry because that was beautiful. I guess.
Got a little teary eyed there.
I did. It was great. Well, okay, so another thing that I'm doing coming up September,
Okay.
we're going to talk about it because we're going to be here back here next week. Next week, 7 p.m., Wednesday, same time, same place. Make sure that you follow us on all of our social media channels. We're going to Fuller Woman Radio on Facebook, Big Beautiful Wellness on Facebook, the International Fuller Woman Network on Facebook. Instagram is Fuller Woman. And we're going to go live hopefully on
Where's our Twitter?
YouTube. It goes straight to Twitter
Okay.
from Facebook page.
Okay.
But on Twitter, is Fuller Woman.
Okay.
We hopefully will be going live on YouTube next week too. We haven't seen.
Come on, viewers.
We have.
Get on in here.
Eyes have not seen.
Stop
Let me
flirt.
just-
Look.
okay. Let me
Use
stop, let
me, but
stop.
don't misuse me. You can use me, don't misuse me. Come on and support us now.
Yeah, come on, because I have really. This is the first year we have really like utilized our platforms. I've had all of these things for a decade, and I
Yeah.
have not really
Yeah.
used any of it.
Yeah.
So I've been so focused on other stuff. But now, it's
When
time,
it's
like
your
you
time,
said,
it's your
purpose.
time.
Ah, yes.
You gotta live into it, walk into it,
Mm-hmm.
fully be present in whatever it is.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Plus, y'all have to look because I come here to dress fabulously and be fashionable. Okay?
Yeah.
My purpose is to encourage you to live fashionably.
There we go.
I just don't want your ass out all the time.
But my
Stop
ass
with your
isn't
ass
out.
out.
My thigh is.
Keep your ass in. That's all I want. But yeah, so again, tune in next week, 7 p.m. for Fuller Woman Radio. And it'll be broadcast also replayed on our website, fullerwomanradio.com. We will have by, what's today? Thursday?
Thursday.
We will have by Saturday, we're going to have show notes, links where you can find Andre,
Yeah.
and other things that are pertinent to this episode, and also required reading. I think it's important to link you to some more reading beyond what we've talked about here. So you find that all on our website, fullerwomanradio.com. And with that note, I think we're going to sign off.
Yeah. And share.
Share. Share, like, subscribe. No, that's on YouTube.
Share
but
something
like.
positive instead of negative.
Yes.
Share that.
Yeah. Share, like.
Thank you, ladies, so much for inviting me. It's been a pleasure. This has been a
Yeah.
hour.
Yes, yes.
Oh, it's always fun to be with you, Dre. I swear you can brighten up a room. I'm
know.
telling you, your positivity
Just lights up
illuminates. It
everything.
does.
Well, thank you. It's just easy to do when you're around beautiful stars like you.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, I do what I can.
We'll be back next week. We love you all.
Many kisses.
Many kisses.
All right.
I hear
Let's roll it
Raj.
on. Let's
Want
roll
to
it
have the
on.
music kick in? Yeah.
Raj, yay.
Hey, with the shoulder work.
Ooh.
Oh, I can do a little show.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes.
I know. Let's do that. Hey.
I ain't never been a skinny girl. I got curves. You can
Hey. All right. That
Whatever
was a good
s-
show.
Yes, that was good.
Why does it feel so awkward now that I don't have these in my ears? It feels like my head is lightheaded now.
Whatever song that was played during the break, I got 3 texts like, I love that song.